As we stepping right into it, hello everybody, it's James, otherwise known as the Skate Punk Lefty, back here with another video. So today we're going to be talking about this lady named Tina Peters, who was a Colorado election official who winded up getting arrested and sentenced for her role in trying to overturn the 2020 election. She allowed some people to use her pass key and campaign for and just spread lots of misinformation about the 2020 election being biased or stolen. And in a very small case, we're here to allow to see one of these types of people who face consequences for spreading this type of rhetoric, this type of misinformation. But I think this arrest, if you ask me in particular, goes far beyond just challenging election denial. There's a bigger picture here that I feel like all America's got a stake in. So join me here while I check out these two quick videos about exactly what happened.
Outside, and then this
in Grand Junction. Matt Morrow's at the live desk with that new video. Matt.
Erica, we just obtained the body camera video from one of the Grand Junction police officers involved in this incident. Let me tell you how it started. It was Tuesday morning in a bagel shop. They were called in because investigators with the district attorney's office say they were trying to serve a search warrant on Tina Peters to grab an iPad that they thought was in her possession. This is what happened next. It involves a couple charges of obstructing. Take a look right here. The officers walk in. They're trying to grab the iPad. They say they grabbed Peters by the bicep there to get her away from a man who may have the iPad. And that is when they say Peters started to resist them. So they proceeded to go ahead and place handcuffs on her right here during this time.
You know what people like her say about people that is my complexion. If you don't got nothing to hide, you wouldn't be running from the police.
The way, mind you, she is complaining that the handcuffs are tight and they are leaving marks on her. Now, at one point here.
Oh, no. Oh. Well, you remember what Donald Trump said due to criminals? He said, don't even hold their head when you're putting them in the back of the police car. These people, ironically enough, it's fun seeing them get arrested because these are people that regularly advocate for police misconduct and police brutality. So it's funny seeing them on the receiving end of it. Don't get me wrong, the police in this situation completely fouled the law, but they are able to experience how uncomfortable and dehumanizing being put in handcuffs really is. And it's funny to watch because, if she was watching this and it was like a black person or a Democrat or a queer person or something like that, she would be laughing at them. And it's funny to see these people, again, that consistently advocate for police misconduct and the militarization of police and stuff like that, to be on the receiving end of getting handcuffs put on.
Police say, and you kind of see it in the video, that she tried to kick a police officer. She did connect with the officer herself, but ended up connecting with the officer's taser. They then take Tina Peters, the Mason County clerk and recorder, out.
And that's also funny because these people would see a black person. I think a good example of this is the Sonia Massey video, or Macy, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So I've been in a couple of TikTok debates, some of which I need to figure out a way to upload on YouTube. And you got people that are, and this goes back to George Floyd and all type of conspiracy theories about why, other people get done the way that they do. But these people regularly beat and kick cops and, because look at Jan 6, for instance. These people don't just resist arrest like they're trying to get out of being handcuffed or trying to run. These right-wing, far-right, sometimes, fascist white people will literally, assault police officers. I just find that funny to see the people that are constantly talking about back to blue and how they have police backs turn around to be some of the greatest progenitors of, resisting arrest and anti-police behavior.
Side, and then this interaction happened. Listen.
Oh no! Let go of me. It hurts. Let go of me. Give me my.
Do not hit. Do you understand?
Stop it. What are you talking about? Get out of my.
Again, if a black person did anything like this, these, the type of stuff that they say. So, Far-right white people get to resist the police in any way that they want, but a black person pulls away, runs, doesn't give a name, is going through a mental health episode, and we deserve anything that happens to us. But simply being lawfully handcuffed and placed in the back of a police car is enough for them to to really just lose their darn minds and fizzle completely out.
My pants!
I am conducting a search. If you move, you will find additional charges.
Find additional charges? This is like arrest without cause.
I mean, you're getting arrested for a reason.
Now, police right there were telling her they were going to grab her keys and they were searching her because they were going to arrest her. Again, district attorneys say they had a signed warrant to go ahead and get an iPad from Tina Peters. They say when she did not give it over, that's when they called police, and police escorted her outside. She is now facing 2 misdemeanor charges: obstruction of a peace officer and obstruction of government operations. She posted a $500 bond yesterday and is now free. She says police were harassing her. Jeremy? All right.
That is insane.
For more than a year now, Mesa County Clerk of Court.
I want to go back to the video that I wanted to look for. Let me go back to the beginning because I just want to see the sentencing. I just want to see the sentencing. That's all I want. And then we'll talk more about why this is important. That this happened.
Our position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again. In your world, it's all about you. But at bottom, this case was about your corrupt conduct and how no one is above the law. No one in this country has absolute power. Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could. You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen.
I think that the jury and the judge got it right, but at the end about this case at all. I think it has been a sad period for our state, for Mesa County, and for our country. To see in real time.
I want to see the actual sentencing. Let me see if I can find that really quickly. This video is going to go a little longer than I wanted it to go, but I really want to see her get told.
Good. Well, so you know what I'm saying is true. All right.
A judge chuckles at a defendant in court.
It's not funny. My life is on the line here, Your Honor.
This was the contentious exchange between Judge Matthew Barrett and defendant, former Mesa County, Colorado clerk Tina Peters.
No, you're the one who's making this allegation that one,
It's I think not it's an funny, allegation.
And two, that I know it's true. You're saying that as if I believe you. And I did not say that.
Okay.
That is why I made the sound, because it's insulting to me for you to just put that in a record in front of all of these people that I believe something to be true.
Okay, and I apologize for that.
A jury found Peters guilty of several charges, including attempting to influence a public servant during the 2020 presidential race.
Let go of me!
Have committed heinous crimes. The only crime that I did, and some people have said I'm not remorseful. Yes, I'm remorseful. Yes, sir.
She was sentenced to 9 years in prison. This is Inside Edition Digital.
I'm gonna just skip to the end of a sentencing and see if I can hear it in a video, because
You are no hero, you abused your position, and you're a charlatan who used and is still using your prior position. Consecutive to counts 1 and 4. Did on your behalf as part of your law. The sentence of the court is 3.5 years in the Department of Corrections. Those sentences will be concurrent to each other. As to count 2, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years consecutive to counts 1 and 4. As it relates to the misdemeanor charges, count 8 is 120 days in the Mesa County Detention Facility, concurrent to count 9 and 10, which will be 6 months in the Mesa County Detention Facility, consecutive to the prison sentence. The reason those sentences are consecutive is because those sentences are, as the prosecution stated, directly related to what it is that you did here in our community, the damage you caused this community, the breach of your oath to the electorate in Mesa County. Your sentence will be followed by 3 years of parole. You have 2 days of pre-sentence confinement credit.
Damn, that's it.
Anything I missed? Anything else we need to address?
Judge, I think you missed a sentencing on count 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. Count 6 is criminal impersonation. That's also consecutive. That's 15 months to the Department of Corrections.
He like, oh yeah, oh man, I forgot. Yeah, that one. That's funny.
And the cost.
So it's 8.5 years total, plus the 6 months for a total of 9 years of incarceration.
And I think the only
That's probably going to be the rest of this woman's life, and she's pretty old. I'm going to cut right here, and I'm going to talk about something very important that this case is groundbreaking for. A lot of right-wing people, from white nationalists, you far-right fascists, you're fake. I'm not a left-wing or right-wing person, you know, type people like, you know, Russell Brand, Tim Pool, Lauren Chin. What's some other people I can name? I guess you can count people like Jack Posobiec in here. You can count people like Steven Crowder in here. And I would say anybody who works at the Daily Wire can count here. Black conservative political commentators as well can count here, which, you know, are the nemesis of this channel, like Black Conservative Perspective, Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum. We need more of this, and it needs to be further spread out. Because it's one thing to say something that's protected speech that's wrong, but the issue with fighting fascism, you cannot meet fascism with dialogue, you know. And I'm not saying meet it with violence, I'm saying meet it with the law, because a lot of these people in many different ways and it's like, I'm not saying we should tighten up laws on free speech. We should tighten up laws on fairness. We should bring back the Fairness Act, and we should bring higher standards to what it means to be a journalist. Because this garbage that they're spilling out, not just election denial, but like all the darn conspiracy theories you can think of about minorities. And you know, they say that queer people are after children and black people are criminals. They say Hispanic and like immigrants are criminals when they're less likely to commit crime because they're here illegally already. And no matter what facts are put in their face, they just back up and say deep state. They, you know, some people will even lean into, you know, like anti-Semitism and what have you, and say that there's special cabals of people trying to push propaganda, or that all facts are false and fake. And it's a lot of the time, there's no way to meet these people with dialogue. The commentators, at least, and I'm not talking about the individual American citizens. Tucker Carlson, he needs to be in jail too. And, you know, the Michael Lindell should be in prison. So should Rudy Giuliani. So should Sidney Powell. So should Nick Fuentes. You know, Sneeko and Aiden Ross should be in prison. Andrew Tate's gonna go to prison soon. These people are spreading so much harm and ignorance against people. Oh, wait a minute, I missed you, Andrew Tate. I can't forget the Nothing Ever Happens to Women squad, and that men are oppressed, but when we talk about actual economic inequality, I cower out of it. These people are terrible, and it needs to be some type of, you know, like media standard, at least for the United States and even other countries, that are held to prevent these people from lying and promoting and profiting off nonsense. This stuff is nonsense. And it's not, our world cannot progress because they literally have you fighting the race war instead of fighting the class war. And I noticed a phenomenon lately too, where you have a lot of conservative people that have been leaning in on the economic inequality thing. They're saying that, oh, liberal or social democratic policies are leading to inequality, which is factually incorrect. And of course, again, no matter how many facts you bring to them, the fact that Biden brought more jobs to America, the GDP and stock market is higher, the you know, the one they bring, oh, Trump, black unemployment is lower now under Biden Harris, and there's more black businesses now than it was under Trump. And you bring up this stuff and they just don't care. They simply keep retreating back to their conspiracy theories. And there has to be something done about this, because a democracy cannot survive when you can walk out and just lie about stuff. And even after you're corrected and given information, about, you know, some most of which is easily accessible to anybody with a phone. They pollute the population with this garbage, and society never progresses forward because we are dealing with this 30s Germany Reaganite garbage. And you know, me as a person, I'm sick and tired of, like, don't get me wrong, debating is fun, but it comes to a point where, what do we do with these people when they're brought into debates with people, or they run from debates with people that know what they talk about? And then, Fresh and Fit, they should both be in prison too. I'm sure some stuff that the government can get on them. And I'm not saying that we should use the state to cool people's free speech, but the state should enforce telling the truth and honesty and unbiasedness in anybody who calls themselves a media personality. And we can't keep going through this where we are living in a society, a democracy that's slowly falling apart because black people make them uncomfortable. They want to put all queer people in a box. So this dude can't get a girlfriend, or couldn't get a girlfriend or a wife, so now he goes on a cavalcade of far-right conspiracy theories about why women don't deserve the same rights as men. We complain about economic inequality while reinforcing economic inequality and hurting the working class. Our society cannot survive when you have these bad actors spreading this misinformation. So what happened to Tina Peters here should be more widespread, and it shouldn't be contained to people talking about election denial.